Friends, let's understand 24 elements Vedic model. I am Dr. Heena Patel. I am a founder of 24 elements Vedic model. We have a YouTube channels, and in the link there is a WhatsApp chat groups also available. So how this help us in our health and other areas of the life? It's not just a health area. 24 elements where the model is based on the Vedas and how the human mind is developed. It's all about it and how can we design our life. That depends what kind of experiences we have gathered in our mind. So let's understand these basics and 24 forces. There are beyond it, but I think we must understand first these basic things. So it's very easy for us how to tackle them. And this is not the physical entity, it's just forces and it's energy. We are not totally a physical entity, but we are an energy body. And this is the structure of our energy body. We can tell that it is the anatomy of energy body. So it is made up of 24 elements and 3 subtle elements: false ego, intelligence, and mind. Mind, we all know, intelligence is a buddhi, and false ego, who really are. And the real ego is a different, and it's spirituality basically. So right now we are not going to discuss that, but the false ego, we must understand the false ego, that what really who you are and what is the concept of yourself, what is the thought process, emotion, and what kind of structure you have made. That is, we call the false ego. And intelligence is the according to our experiences, we judge the situation and take the actions. And mind is the thing where all the programs develop, and according to that memories, we use our intelligence and we make the structure of the false ego. Now let's understand the gross elements. Gross elements we understand because we can see it with the physical eyes. We can experience the earth by touching it: water, fire, air, and ether. This is the gross elements. We can experience these forces as a physical elements. Now the sense object. Ether is having a sense that we call sound. An organ of it is a ear, and it's a working memory is a voice. So ether element is required for voices and speech and language development. Air elements, its sense organ is a touch, and knowledge organ is the skin, and working sense is legs. Okay, so every organ is having a sense organ, knowledge organ, and working senses. Now, fire organ is a sight. Sight we can see by our eyes. If any distortion in this force, that can change the shape and the structure of our eye. And working sense organ is arms. Water. Water elements we test a different kind of test by mouth. So, and knowledge organ is a tongue. It's a basic they have given, but there are many things inside our mouth that work as a knowledge organ. And reproductive system is connected with water elements. And nowadays we find that we are having a lots of reproductive issues. We are having a less force in this, and there are a lot of IVF centers. Earth element. Earth elements having a sense object is a smell. when there is a rainy days and first times the rains, then there is a beautiful smells come out of it. It's basically a nature of the earth element. And sense organ is a nose. We can smell everything by our nose, and we evacuating organs. We are having evacuating organs, and we release everything by evacuating organs. Say for a stools and urine, it smells badly because it's full of negativity and toxins. So, earth element is having a smell as a sense organ. So these are the different kind of forces, and today we are mostly going to discuss about the behavior in the children's issues, why they are facing all these things. That depends on what kind of experiences you have gathered in your mind. And according to that experiences, logically you behave and you define yourself. And sometimes in our children's, we find that there is a issue of finding a own self, who you are, they don't understand. And we need to teach them that what is your name and who you are. And we find that some children are very sensitive about the sound. Sometimes they are staring at the light. Sometimes they are eating certain kind of food only. Some children's like a crude touch, light touch, deep touch, and smells. Some children's like particular kind of smells, and they all are doing this kind of behavior due to disturbance in these 24 elements, and according to that they behave. So it's very easy for us to find it out which force and which elements is disturbed, and according to that sometimes we find skin issues, ear problems, and they are continuously taking some particular type of sounds, and that all these things we discuss in detail as we go ahead. They do not speak clearly. There is lots of problem in speech and languages because the ether element is disturbed due to your experiences. Sometimes they are having issues with the coordinations of the legs and arms. Reproductive system we are not discussing in case of children, but in case of adult, we can clear. If we clear all these 24 forces, you can clear your reproductive capacity. Also, evacuating organ is a bladder and bowel. Sometimes children lose their sense of evacuating bladder and bowel, and the same thing we find in the adult also. If they are degenerating their senses, they even lose their senses of bladder and bowel control. I think this is the clear. Now we are going ahead. This force drop like this. This is Prakriti and Purusha. And then we are having intellectual Buddhi, Ahankara. Ahankara having a three characteristics, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And after this, we are having all 24 forces. It's, as I said, it's not a physical entity, but it's energy, and quantum physics has already proved that we are energy particle. Where we can use this model for a health purpose, psychological issue, behavioral issues, speech issues, organ health, cognitive development, eye perception, whole sensory system, support for the cancer patient, fear, phobias, hormonal balance, anxiety, hyperactivity, all neurological disorder in children and adult, and one I have not added, but in case of unknown pain, pain in a cancers, anxiety, child is not sleeping, they are hyper aroused, it's very difficult for them to sleep. So all these kind of issues we can easily treat by this model. What kind of principle I have used in this model? That Vedic principles that already we have discussed, theory of psychological issues, theories of neuroscience, theory of quantum physics, and let's understand one by one how these all principles help us to resolve our deep-seated issues. As I already said that we are physical body or energy, but we are not only a physical body. And according to Vedas, nobody can destroy a soul, and soul has a no death. So we are just going from one state to another state, and according to quantum physics, particle is energy, and we can convert one energy from one to another state, but we cannot destroy it. So we are not only a physical body. Energy particle look like this. They are having a proton, electrons, and there are a lot of bosons and other particles are there. Electron, proton, and neutron are the basics theory, but nowadays in quantum physics, there are a lot of other particles, and they have defined it very well in the research area. The principle of the quantum physics, that uncertainty principle, wave particle duality, entanglement, and superposition. What could happen in the next moment, we cannot decide. That is the uncertainty principle. Wave particle theory is every particle is moving in a wave fashion. Entanglement is they have done a work that if the two particles set apart as far as possible, but if they change in a one particle, that other particle will also get affected. That's called entanglement. And superposition is that if the two frequencies, say for a 10 hertz and other frequency is a 30 hertz, so third force which is generated is a sum total of these two forces. So it's a 10 plus 30 is equal to 40 hertz force generated. It could be a negative and positive. So it depends on experience, what you have experienced. Positive experience create a higher level of positive energy within you, and negative energy create higher level of negative energy within you. And we are talking about this negative energy only, which is distorting our mind and structure of these 24 elements. Mind, according to Fred's iceberg theory, it's the unconscious, preconscious, and conscious mind. And in unconscious, instinct of fear and selfish motive are stored. And in preconscious mind, memory is stored, and it's a knowledge mind, and it's an emotion also. What kind of emotions we have integrated along with that experience. And conscious mind is a thought and perception, what we and you are talking about and listening and communicating with each other, and we are responding according to our environment. That's the conscious mind. But majority of the instincts come from this mind. Whatever the experience you have already stored, according to that your consciousness work for you. Mind pyramid. The human mind, that's unconscious is 30 to 40%, subconscious 50 to 60, and rest only 10% is only available for our present life experiences. So our behavior, our emotion responses are hugely generated from this unconscious and subconscious, and we are totally unaware of it. And whatever is happening around us, by introspection, we can find it out what kind of memory you are storing in your unconscious and subconscious mind. As we have discussed in the 24 elements, that mind is just a one kind of force only. Mind is just a one force. In psychology, we just work on a mind, but in 24 elements, we are working on a 24 forces basically. So you need to clear all these 24 forces. If you are having any health issue, behavioral issues, sensory issues, we need to find it out and we need to clear each and every force. Then and then only your mind will get a clear. Then your cognitive development will enhance, and you will understand basically what really who you are. And in neurology, neurological brain, thinking brain, we call it cognitive brain. That's the frontal lobe. All the executive function is done by this area, but this is the highest level of functioning. If your lower level are functioning well, then and then only it is possible their executive area work for you, and then you can decide what is the right and wrong for you. This is the limbic brain. This is the emotional brain. What kind of emotions you have experienced when you are having an experience? It's a joyful, it's a painful, it's a fear. So according to that, you are having emotional memories. And if it is a negative, then it's giving a continuous negative feedback in your mind. And so the behavior will come out sometimes in the form of anger, fear, tantrums, anxiety, phobias. So in a various way, this negative experience we express. This is the most unconscious part. It's a very primitive brain. We call it a reptilian brain. That's the midbrain, pons, medulla, and brainstem. And this is the cerebellum. And cerebellum work with all this area for coordinated movement of the body. And what are the function of this brain? We will just discuss in a briefly. That midbrain help us in a primitive motor control, primitive hearing and vision, pain control, sleep-wake cycle, and sensory perception. So sometimes our child is having a lot of, they are even not able to sometimes sense even a pain. Hearing and vision all know, I think, and sleeping cycle is more, sometimes damaged usually, and it's very difficult problem, and sometimes we are not able to resolve with the medication also. But if we resolve the unprocessed experience, then nervous system and mind gets a calm down, and gradually you can resolve the sleep issues. Pons, the second area of the primitive brain, is a controlling breathing. Breathing cycle is usually controlled by this area. Sleep-wake cycle again. Pain control, taste, vision, hearing, and balance. Basic balance system is controlled by this part of the brain. Coordination of the movement, sensory, relate, bladder muscle control. Bladder also primarily controlled by this area of the brain. Third area is the medulla oblongata, and what is the function of it? Its function is regulate breathing, BP, heart rate, right side of the brain, control left side, reflex like coughing, swallowing, motor and sensory signals, connect the spinal cord and pons. So these are the very basic function of it. You can Google it, these areas, and you can find a lot of other information from Google. Now, today's our motive is to understand the behavior and cognitive development basically. So what is the cognitive development? Cognitive development is a sensory information which we process what kind of experience we had, and the same process will happen at the three level, that the primitive brain, at the limbic level, and at the executive level. And then we decide what to do and what should we avoid, ignore, or what kind of action we must take in that situation. So all three areas must work in a coordinated fashion, and then only it is possible to take a action in the right direction. And after that, they can be stored into our short-term memory, long-term memory, and working memory. If it is a long-term memory, then it is very unconscious. Short-term memory is just the incidents happen and then we forget. It has a no deep effect on our mind, basically. So if it is stored deeply within us, then every actions, whatever the decisions, what you are feeling, what you are thinking, everything is having a effect according to these experiences. So you show that in your behavior and in your executive function. So sometimes some people, we find that he is not able to take a right decision in that moment. But the reason behind it, that the structure of that mind is developed in a such a way that the person is not able to take a decision according to situation. And our children are hugely affected because we know that the primary area of the very primitive area is disturbed in our children's. Sensory system is disturbed, so they are not able to gather the information. They are having issues with this memories because they have stored such a deep memory that now the system is not able to take more information, and they switch it off the neurological pathway, basically. So different kind of symptoms we can find in our children. If emotion is affected, then they are very angry, frustrated, anxiety we can find in our children. So all these issues, if we do not resolve till that, we cannot work up to an executive function. So we need to understand first that from where we can start our therapy, from where we can work, and what is our priority while applying a therapeutic approach to our children or any kind of client who are having issues. I am working with both the person, children's, and adults. So we are having a two separate clinic for the adult and the children, and I am having a huge responses and good results when we have started applying this model, and we can easily identify what is the problem, basically. Or how can this information is distorted in our mind, and how these 24 elements gets disorganized. So it's our emotional experience, our thoughts, environmental, genetic, negative experiences. We can say that we have hugely experienced corona. Can change your structure of information, and physical accidents also a kind of trauma, and that can also damage your physical body, and you are having a attached emotion to it. So sometimes we find that person is having a pain, but it cannot be resolved by physical therapy because the memory is already created in his mind. So when we resolve this memory, we can resolve the pain due to physical accident also. So this is the huge model. We can work in the many areas and many aspects of the life. If structure change, what happen if we release this negativity, negative thought patterns and everything, and negative experiences, they change the behavior, hormonal changes happens, sensory system get organized, motor system change. If the child is not working, they start working. Writing issues, we can resolve everything if we resolve in a correct manner. At cellular level also, there are a lot of changes. Posture also change in the children's and adult, and we will see it by pictures, so it's very easy for you to understand. Behavior distortion we all know that it's a fighting, frustrated, screaming, crying, and this is due to our negative emotional response to a situation. We do not have any solutions, and that's why we take the lower level of resolution. And where we find that I am helpless, I have no solution, please help me, we can find in a marriage relationships, or sometimes in a peer group also. They are having this kind of issue because both of them are at the same frequency at a lower level. Both of them are having no solutions and they are fighting because no resolution. Fighting is basically you are having no resolution for it. Helpless is also the same thing. I am crying, screaming, frustrated because I do not have any solution for it. Please help me. Distortion of the sensory system, then focus and attention is distorted. It is very primary level distortion. Basically, very primitive brain is working for it, for the distortion of attention, and we will discuss arousal and everything in another videos. But for now, I'm just saying that this kind of distortion happen if you are having any kind of negative experiences. And we have seen many children having this eyeball distortion, and that is because of negative experiences, that your sensory system get damaged by it. Speech and language issues that already I have discussed in 24 elements model. If your ether element is disturbed, then you are having the speech and language issues. If the force work on your physical level, it will create a physical deformity. This is just for information, but this is also possible that force can change your physical structure even if you are having a more distortion in your 24 elements Vedic model. Distortion happen anywhere: organ, brain, liver, kidney, muscle, bones, hormonal, cellular, structure. Many things can be damaged according to what information you have gathered, that I have already discussed with the picture. Now, role of the nutrition. We have developed the brain nutrition with the magnesium, essential oil, and affirmation, basically. But magnesium, you can find it out in a Google, that it's a very helpful for neural plasticity, basically. And magnesium is having a more than 300 function in your body. But magnesium alone it cannot work, but it supports all kind of vitamins, mineral, and protein metabolism, which are needed for the brain and body function. So this is the customized magnesium we have developed along with the therapy. So it makes the procedure faster and it's easy for us to work, because if you are having a less nutrient in your body, so body cannot work for us. We can change the energetically, but at the physical level also, we need to change the body. So it helps and it makes the bridge between these two things. So magnesium is a very important part of the treatment. Then customized affirmation water bottle. It's a positive words charge in the water, so that just a simple drinking of the water help us to shift the mind, and this is also making the procedure easier and faster. Effect of words on a water. That's a Japanese scientist has find it out what kind of word you use and what kind of crystal is created in the water. So you can find these things in a YouTube also in a detail. If you want to listen, just find it out, effects of a word on a water, and you can find many scientific research on a words, what kind of words we are using and how the body is getting changed. But it's done on a water elements. So we use a positive affirmation water, and that create this positive energy in a water, and the same water if you drink, it helps us to shift your mind. So it's make the procedure easy. Balance by 24 elements model. So by using many principles, we can balance that forces and that help us body, mind, and soul to come back into functional state, joyful state, happy state. Basically, the exact life we want to create that can be created. It's available online and offline. Contact on 88827140 and we are having a WhatsApp group chat also. That link I will provide in YouTube video, so you can join it. If you are having any queries, then we are going to open one Zoom session for the queries also. So you can join and ask the queries during the Zoom meeting. And after that, we are going to open self-help programs. How can 24 elements Vedic models you can use for your family? As well as for the professional, we will start training. So they can also use the same principle what we are using in our clinics. Thank you so much. Friends, let's understand 24 elements Vedic model. I am Dr. Heena Patel. I am a founder of 24 elements Vedic model. We have a YouTube channels, and in the link there is a WhatsApp chat groups also available. So how this help us in our health and other areas of the life? It's not just a health area. 24 elements where the model is based on the Vedas and how the human mind is developed. It's all about it, and how can we design our life. That depends what kind of experiences we have gathered in our mind. So let's understand these basics and 24 forces. There are beyond it, but I think we must understand first these basic things. So it's very easy for us how to tackle them. And this is not the physical entity, it's just forces and it's energy. We are not totally a physical entity, but we are an energy body. And this is the structure of our energy body. We can tell that it is the anatomy of energy body. So it is made up of 24 elements and 3 subtle elements: false ego, intelligence, and mind. Mind, we all know. Intelligence is a buddhi, and false ego, who really are. And the real ego is a different, and it's spirituality basically. So right now we are not going to discuss that, but the false ego, we must understand the false ego, that what really who you are and what is the concept of yourself, what is the thought process, emotion, and what kind of structure you have made. That is we call the false ego. And intelligence is the according to our experiences, we judge the situation and take the actions. And mind is the thing where all the programs develop, and according to that memories, we use our intelligence and we make the structure of the false ego. Now let's understand the gross elements. Gross elements we understand because we can see it with the physical eyes. We can experience the earth by touching it: water, fire, air, and ether. This is the gross elements. We can experience these forces as the physical elements. Now the sense object. Ether is having a sense that we call sound. An organ of it is a ear, and it's a working memory is a voice. So ether element is required for voices, and speech and language development. Air elements, its sense organ is a touch, and knowledge organ is the skin, and working sense is legs. Okay, so every organ is having a sense organ, knowledge organ, and working senses. Now, fire organ is a sight. Sight we can see by our eyes. If any distortion in this force, that can change the shape and the structure of our eye. And working sense organ is arms. Water. Water elements we test a different kind of test by mouth. So, and knowledge organ is a tongue. It's a basic they have given, but there are many things inside our mouth that work as a knowledge organ, and reproductive system is connected with water elements. And nowadays we find that we are having a lots of reproductive issues. We are having a less force in this, and there are a lot of IVF centers. Earth element. Earth elements having a sense. Object is a smell. When there is a rainy days and first times the rains, then there is a beautiful smells come out of it. It's basically a nature of the earth element. And sense organ is a nose. We can smell everything by our nose, and we evacuating organs. We are having evacuating organs, and we release everything by evacuating organs. Say for stools and urine, it smells badly because it's full of negativity and toxins. So, earth element is having a smell as a sense organ. So, these are the different kind of forces, and today we are friends. Let's understand 24 elements Vedic model. I am Dr. Heena Patel. I am a founder of 24 elements Vedic model. We have a YouTube channels, and in the link there is a WhatsApp chat groups also available. So how this help us in our health and other areas of the life? It's not just a health area. 24 elements Vedic model is based on the Vedas and how the human mind is developed. It's all about it, and how can we design our life. That depends